Hello, my name is Shinso or Kai, whichever one feels more natural to you, and this is actually my first ever long form YouTube video, so hooray! But with that in mind, bear with me now if there's a few bumps along the way because I had quite an interesting time editing this, and I still don't fully know what I'm doing when it comes to making videos like this and filming voiceovers especially. Oh my god. But more on what made the editing experience a little later. But with that out of the way, I hope that you can use this video as a way to relax and have just a friend or someone to draw alongside with that just yaps your ear off, I guess. Now, as a little bit more of an introduction, I did want to talk about my illustration a little bit. Like, why Columbina, and definitely why Columbina figure skating. I'd say that Columbina is definitely one of my favorite characters from Genshin Impact, though truthfully when we first ever got to see that little Fatui trailer that came out a few years ago, or I don't know, maybe it was more than a few years ago. Was it like 2 years ago or something? But anyway, I wasn't so interested in her really when we first saw her, other than the fact that I just found her very pretty, of course, and I liked the angel aesthetic that she had going on. But that's kind of like something that I tend to do. Like, it takes me a little longer to be interested or attached to a character. Like, I have to get to know them first. I usually don't immediately get obsessed or that excited based off a design alone. But that's not to say that cool designs don't get me excited, because they definitely do. There's been quite a few characters that I was excited for just design wise. But I don't because you know how when people make fan art for a character when they just ever saw them for the first time? Yeah, I can't do that. If I'm gonna make fan art for someone, I really have to like them a lot, and that's usually after their personality comes out in the game or the show or anything really solidifies that, I guess. But anyway, I didn't know her yet, so I was just like, oh, pretty design, and that was sort of that. However, when she started getting teased for real, and definitely by the time her character trailer came out, I was definitely very excited. I spent 6 months actually saving up around 220 pulls for her. I was definitely ready. But I really like her personality and how she always has such a vast aloofness, as if she was in a whole different world than us, despite standing right in front of each other in the story. But I guess that makes sense considering she's from the moon and everything. I think her eyes being closed is really something that helps portray that feeling of aloofness around her. Even though we know what her eyes look like in game, for my illustration I decided to keep them closed and give a very serene expression to her face, mimic what I liked about her in the game. Not only that though, I do just think she's really cute and really pretty. Some reasons can be quite simple. However, the ice skating part comes from a more simpler reason. So during my summer break, I watched Yuri on Ice for the first time, even though I'm 10 years late to the hype and whatever, but it's fine. But rather late than never watching it at all. But yeah, I got inspired a lot by the costumes in the show, so I thought they're really pretty and shiny, and at the same time I was watching it, there was more content of Alyssa Liu, I think her name was, showing up on my feed, and I thought that her deep blue costume was very pretty and the skirt shape was very nice. And as well, at the same time, again, there was a Columbina I don't remember the user or anything, but there was a Columbina cosplayer on my feed who was ice skating as her, and I thought it was just such a good idea. So truthfully, I really just wanted to draw Columbina in a pretty ice skating outfit, but I think her demeanor matches figure skating and ballet, I would say. I think you could tell in her character trailer that Hoyoverse was sort of going for a ballet vibe in her dance. So I think it's a good fit. I do have a little side story about when I was trying to decide what sort of pose I wanted to do. So I was just looking at poses at my best friend's house when we were just relaxing, and I told her that I was struggling to find a pose that was in like a scorpion position, I think it's called. I don't know, I like that one. It's kind of funky, but it's also kind of like impressive in a way. So I told her that I was struggling to find that, and she was like, oh, I'll do the pose and then you could take a photo. Because sometimes she'll offer to do that for me, which is very sweet, by the way. But, you know, neither of us have any flexible background. I mean, when I was a kid, I did ballet in preschool. So, like, yeah, no flexible background. And as far as I know, my friend hasn't done anything akin to that, nor do either of us practice or stretch regularly like we should, like everyone should. But the offer was sweet, of course, and I thought it was funny, especially when she decided that the solution to our non-flexibility issue was going to be trying to emulate the pose on the floor, like flat on the floor, thinking that maybe that would be easier somehow. But no, no shade to her. I don't think even on the floor she was stretchy enough to do it. So we kind of just giggled about that. It was a little funny to me. So far, you might have noticed a few texts pop up on the screen that I didn't say out loud or were there to seemingly remind me of something. So I do want to address those now and a few other things while I'm at it. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that editing it was quite an experience, and that was because a lot of these clips were actually from 2 of my live streams. Keep that in mind. Each of them were 3 hours long. Also keep that in mind. So I had both of them downloaded on my phone just fine, and I had about an hour or so of extra clips recorded off stream to show myself doing more like finishing touches towards the end. So around 7 hours in total for this whole thing. And for a while I've just been getting by using CapCut on my phone to edit all of my short form content, so I didn't think too hard, unfortunately, about what would happen if I were just to shove 7 hours worth of footage into the mobile version of this platform. Everything started out relatively normal. It was a little laggy, so I thought it would be fine, but as I continued cutting footage, my phone was just heating up. Like, it was so hot to hold in my hand, and all of a sudden I couldn't do anything in the program because the lag made everything so heavily delayed. It was not fun at all to work with. So I tried to just export the video as it was just to get it on my computer and off my phone, because it was like zapping all of my battery life within like 30 or so minutes, and then my phone crashed like 4 times as I tried to export it. So instead I was just gonna upload it to the cloud that's in CapCut. So because if you upload it to the cloud, you can just reopen it on a different device, but on the free version they only let you upload 3 gigabytes. So unless I was about to cough up some money just to get this shit on my computer, I was gonna have to find something else. My plan really was just to power through the lag and finish cutting everything down so that eventually it would hopefully be 3 gigabytes. But no. Unfortunately, as I kept cutting, the file size just kept getting bigger for whatever reason, so I ended up getting all the footage cut down on my phone. The whole 7 hours, I just cut it down through the lag and everything, and I just sent it to my computer later through Google Drive. While it was on my phone, I left some text on the screen that I forgot to delete before exporting, so there wasn't really much I could do about it, so they're kind of just there now. Hopefully they didn't ruin your experience too badly, but I didn't really think it was such a big deal. But anyways, because I could just cut the clips, but then it might look weird missing some steps because they last for like a good 3 to 5 seconds sometimes. So I don't know, I think the cut might have just been weird if I were to cut them out. Oh, and one of the texts said something about having strangely bright colors at the beginning. That was just because during the live stream, it took me like an hour or two maybe to even realize that the platform automatically put a filter over my footage, so it made everything like really bright. It kind of gave things a pink hue, which I don't hate. It looks kind of nice, but I also don't like how everything is just glowing. So yeah. Funny enough, I had another mishappen while editing when I was putting in the music and my voiceover. So apparently I didn't know that this would have happened because it doesn't happen when I do it on the mobile version of CapCut. But I thought I was just going to clean up my files a little bit and delete the ones that I've already used. And if you use CapCut on the computer, maybe you know where this is going already. But when I got back in the editing program, all of my media files were missing, and it was all red and everything, and it was like missing files, media lost. First, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't know what happened. But yeah, that kind of just maybe goes to show that I'm really not that experienced in this. So yeah, bear with me. First video and everything. Okay, seeing as I am like halfway through the video now, and I haven't really talked about my drawing process at all in my drawing YouTube video, I should probably do that. Right now, I am darkening some of the shadows on the dress, but honestly, it's kind of hard for me to explain really my process, especially for this dress, because the dress that I was basing it off of is much more detailed than what I did in real life. And as I was looking at it on stream, I was really just talking the whole time, like, I don't really know where to start with this dress. I don't really know what to do with this dress. I'm not actually sure what the dress was called, but it was very pretty in real life. Like, it was adorned with so many jewels and shiny things, and the fabric was like very light and flowy. I do think I was able to get the light and flowiness of the fabric, and also the pink and blue ombre that it had. I think that came out really well. And that is what I started with, as you saw earlier in the video. I think the ombre was just the easiest thing to go with, and after that I started making I'm not really sure what it was on the dress, but it was like this white sheer fabric. It had a lot of jewels on it, but you'll see me add those later, that went across the dress, as you see that I'm working on right now. I think I did start with that. I thought it would be easy-ish, and then I went with shadows. I don't know, I was really just making up the steps for this dress, since truly I had no idea what I was doing. I think I might have accidentally made most of this video image-wise about me rendering the dress, and I don't know, I'm kind of running out of things to say for it already, because I don't know what I was doing. I mean, that's just it. I don't know what to say about it other than when I start doing the jewels. Oh, I was also going to mention that this is maybe my 4th or 5th time actually using Clip Studio Paint, the software I'm drawing on, and it's my first time making a full background, full body illustration sort of thing with it. So yeah, that's another reason why it's hard for me to really explain what I'm doing, because I'm really just learning the program as well, and I don't feel like I'm drawing at my full capacity, at least not to me. I feel like I usually do more when it comes to these bigger illustrations, but this is the most I've done so far on Clip Studio Paint. So for that alone, I am a little proud of it, but I do think I still need more time on Clip Studio Paint to get back where I want to be, and hopefully better than I used to be. On my last drawing application, which was Procreate, I was on Procreate for 4 years, just about, or maybe a little more. It it was not so hard switching from Procreate to Clip Studio like a lot of people said it was gonna be. I think the scariest thing really is just the UI, but once you get used to that, I think you feel quite normal drawing on it. In fact, I actually think I like it more than Procreate right now, but my opinion is just a little biased considering I am moving from an 8-inch iPad without a textured screen at all to a 16-inch drawing tablet that has a tempered glass screen, and it feels so nice. Like, I'm trying not to brag about my tablet, but it's so nice. The screen makes it feel like you're drawing on paper, really. It feels so much more natural. If you were ever thinking about getting a drawing tablet versus an iPad, and you have a computer and the means to use one, I would definitely say drawing tablet, unless you are new to digital art maybe and you don't really know if you're gonna like it, then maybe just get an iPad, because you can use an iPad for many different things, but a drawing tablet is just a drawing tablet. So definitely do your research, but if you are thinking of getting one already, they feel really nice and I don't regret mine. Not sponsored or anything, by the way, because I didn't even tell you which one I use, but if you were curious, it is just a Wacom Cintiq 16. It is a bit on the pricier side, but yeah, not sponsored. I was just saying what it is in case anyone was curious, because I just went on a whole little rant about it, so I might as well tell you what it even was that I was using. But yeah. Now that we've been on the hair, I was gonna talk about how when recording myself rendering, shading, whatever you want to call it, her hair and some of her hair accessories, I thought, or maybe I just hallucinated the whole thing, but I thought that I recorded myself rendering her wing hairpiece, and I'm really sad that I have no idea what happened to that clip, because I thought that it would be nice to see. So unfortunately you don't get to see that, just know that it happened, maybe. And during my live stream, I did take sort of like an abrupt pause from rendering the dress because I was just getting kind of bored and like really tired of working on it at the moment. So I made a quick switch over to the hair, since, you know, that's something I think I am more familiar with, but honestly, I wouldn't really call myself very good at drawing and rendering hair, to be honest, because every time I do, I'm not really sure how to position it, like compositionally. Like when I was in the sketch phase of this, I think I blocked out her hair 3 or 4 times until I was satisfied with it. But even still, I'm not entirely satisfied with it, but it looks a whole lot better than it did the first 2 to 3 times. But yeah, I took a break with the dress to do the hair because there was less thinking involved in that, so it was nicer. But I will go back to the dress later in this video. I could have restructured the clips and put it to where I finish the dress and do the hair later, but then you would have seen the hair already done while I'm working on the rest of the dress, so we'll just keep it this way. I think in a few seconds now, really, it'll be back on the dress. But there were a few things I wanted to talk about my drawing process before we got to the end, because at the end I do have something particular that I really want to say and ask you guys about. So what I wanted to talk about was how I did the lighting, since I think that might be more, maybe not so intuitive to kind of guess what I'm doing. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that later, when I am unfortunately asking you guys questions, you will see me highlighting certain areas that I want to add light with the selection tool. And then on top of the layer that I have rendered the dress on, I made another layer and turned it into an add glow layer. And in case you weren't aware, an add layer basically just takes whatever color that you're using and essentially makes it glow. Now in Procreate they just had add layers and not add and add glow layers, but you know, the add glow layer I guess just tells you that it glows. But I'm not really sure what the difference between the two of them are in Clip Studio Paint, but you know, just use add glow, and that's what I did. And then I took the gradient tool and just used that on my selected area, which again, you will see. I'm sorry that I'm talking about it right now and it hasn't happened yet. Just I want to make sure I get to ask you guys what I want to ask you guys. One final thing about the dress, however, was in order to do the jewels that were on the real one that I'm basing this off of, I thought the easiest way to go about it was to be doing dark circles like I am right now, and then taking a almost white color and going over them, and then later adding a few little shimmer lines on it that kind of just look like little stars, just to make it seem like the jewels were actually shining and reflecting the light from the stage. And yeah, that just about is going to wrap up what I am going to talk about with my art process. So now that we are about to go into the stage of the video where I show you my final touches, it is time for everyone's favorite part of a video, the end. And now I can finally ask you guys the few questions that I had in mind. One of them being, since this is my first YouTube video and I've made this all like without anybody's feedback, and I don't really have a big audience here on YouTube, so since this is your first time seeing me, maybe I want to take a moment to ask you guys what kind of content you would prefer in the future. Would you prefer that I talk the whole time, or maybe would you want me to be silent and just have music in the background as you watch me draw? Or would you prefer somewhere in the middle, like maybe I'll have music for a good section, and then if I feel like something on screen needs to be explained, then I will talk about it? But yeah, since I don't really know you guys yet, so tell me what you prefer from me. And if enough people agree, then I will work to implement it into my next video. My plans, however, with my long form content is mostly going to be that I am going to continue making shorts like I usually do, but I will make shorts just based off of little smaller illustrations like headshots or something like that, and then I will probably make more long form videos if it's a big illustration like this one where it has, you know, like maybe full body or it just has a big background, something that I think people maybe would want to see a longer process of. But with that being said, please enjoy the final reveal of this illustration that we've been working on, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!